Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV and welcome to your transfer news video. Guys, first things first, make sure you smash a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And as always, people, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And after not really too much going on for the last few weeks, other than being locked in really frustrating talks with Brighton for Moises Caicedo, in the last 24 to 48 hours, we have had a here we go for Axel Disasi, the Monaco centre-half, for a fee of £38 million. We've had a bid put in for Brighton goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. Levi Colwill has agreed a new 6-year contract. There's interest on West Ham and Inter Milan in Trevor Chalobah. Chelsea have set a £45 million asking price. And talks are back on for a Dusan Vlahovic, Romelu Lukaku and cash swap deal. So, people, there is a lot of stuff to get into, but let's take it back to sort of a few days ago now, where Chelsea agreed a deal with Rennes. It's all done and dusted with Leslie Ugochukwu for around £23.5 million. The 19-year-old holding midfielder. I don't think too many of us have heard much about him, but that signing kind of came out of nowhere. And to be honest, I've looked into him a little bit. You know, it's the profile of holding midfielder we've been looking for. He's tall, he's strong, he's physical, he's good on the ball. He's rangy. He's been playing for Rennes, and he played a lot of games for Rennes last season as they managed to finish in the top 4 in League A. Now, again, potential to be a very good player. Another one of these signings that is not going to be for now. Is potentially going to go on loan to Strasbourg, and then with a view to coming into the Chelsea team for the 24-25 season. I think this signing took a lot of people by surprise, but you look at it and you think, right, good profile, as I said, a profile I've not really had since the Matic and Mikel days. You could even go as far back as Essien as well. Loads of potential and ticks the boxes for exactly what we're doing at the club right now with this data-driven youth recruitment drive. And it's a signing that I'm excited about, but it's certainly one that's not going to make a difference to the first team right now. But, Anuga Chukwu, I think, the characteristics are there for a very good player. You only have to see what he's done for Rennes so far. Rennes, are very good at producing players, particularly midfielders. Eduardo Camavinga, who's now at Real Madrid, has come through there. And obviously, hopefully Ugochukwu can be cut from the same cloth, slightly different profile, of course, but he looks very good nonetheless. And a deal that sort of appeared from nowhere. And, just when you're getting frustrated that Chelsea can't seem to get any deals together, this one just sort of appeared out of nowhere. But it's one that I'm excited for, but it's one that we're not going to really know how good he is until at least a year's time, maybe a year and a half's time. But yeah, good to get that sort of profile in. And I think that puts a stop to Chelsea signing Romeo Lavia, because then we really would be stockpiling young midfielders for no obvious reason. So Ugochukwu in from Rennes, £23.5 million, has done his medical, passed all that, and he will be loaned out. Not sure where yet, potentially Strasbourg. We've only got 3 loan spots available at Strasbourg, so it'll be interesting to see which 3 players end up going there. But then obviously the following day after that, which was Sunday, we had the here we go for Axel Disasi, the Monaco centre-half, French international, £38 million, 5-year deal with an option for another year. And, Disasi, a French international, played over 100 games for Monaco, has captained Monaco in the Champions League, has played with Benoit Badiashile at the back for Monaco during his time there. And, we were umming and ahhing as Chelsea fans whether, the club were going to go and sign another centre-half after, obviously, Wesley Fofana's ACL injury. It was going to rule him out for the best part of the whole season. And, we're thinking, well, we're linked with Mark Guehi. Do we really need another one? Can we just stick with Trevor Chalobah and we'll get by? And Bashir Humphries can be, take Fofana's place in the squad. And then out of nowhere, a move for Disasi just happened. And, in Disasi, I think a good profile again. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, he's good with the ball at his feet. He's not got the most pace, but you don't need pace to be a good centre-half. For his size, he is quite quick. But the players like John Terry, Thiago Silva, they've never relied on pace in their careers, and they're top level defenders. For me, as a defender, as long as you can read the game well and your decision-making is on point, then a lack of pace really isn't a big deal. And Disasi at 25 years of age, mad to say it, is probably one of the older members in the Chelsea squad. But, he's very experienced. He adds great depth to that our centre-back options. And it's another very talented boy. As I said, he's played with Benoit Badiashile before. I'm sure he'll help him settle in. And it's an exciting signing. What I would say, though, is a shame that, I'm not too sure why we've done it in terms of, because maybe the club don't deem Trevor Chalobah good enough. Maybe they feel that, they want the money because he's pure profit. They've set an asking price of around £45 million from him. As I said at the top of the show, interest from Inter and West Ham. Inter aren't going to spend anywhere near that amount of money on him. So it feels like a shame for me that Trev is going to have to move on. I think he's done very well whenever he's been called upon at Chelsea. He loves the club. He's been here his entire life. He signed a new long-term contract back in November. He's contracted until 2028. So I'm not really sure what's changed between now and then. But the game's the game, unfortunately, and Chelsea feel that the Sassy is a better player than Chalobah, and they feel that's the route they want to go down. Then I haven't necessarily got an issue with it. I think the Sassy is more than good enough to step up and have a big role at Chelsea, and I personally feel that the Sassy signing means that when Silva more than likely moves on at the end of this season, I don't see another centre back coming in, because then we'll have Colwill, Sassy, Badiashile and Fofana, and then maybe Bashir Humphreys as that fifth choice potentially floating around the place. So I see Sassy coming in. I don't know how much he's going to play this season, but I see him learning from Silva, learning from these players for a season, and then he'll be ready to take Silva's place in the squad the following season. So let's wait and see how that one plays out. But Chelsea moving quickly with 2 deals in 2 days on Saturday and Sunday this week just gone, which was nice to see, because we have been really locked in frustrating talks with Moises Caicedo at Brighton. And that brings me on to that one then, guys, because there is no real update, to be honest. We had that our fourth bid of £80 million rejected outright by Brighton. We had the news that, Caicedo's reps were going to go and meet with Brighton and demand their asking price be lowered, because they feel he's being priced out of a move. And, more reports coming out today, Tuesday, day of recording, that Brighton are not prepared to budge on their £100 million asking price of Moises Caicedo. So Chelsea have maintained all along they didn't really want to pay more than £80 million. It looks like we want the player, then we're going to have to pay that £100 million. But there's no real concrete updates on the future of Moises Caicedo, which is frustrating for us with the season drawing ever closer now, less than 2 weeks. So yeah, it's an issue for sure. It is an issue. I think we get to the point now where this player, Caicedo, will be a transformative signing for Chelsea. And yes, it might set a bad precedent, that we're just going to cave into clubs' demands. But I'd rather sort of get mugged off in the market, per se, and get what you were looking for in Moises Caicedo than be mugged off and walk away with nothing. So I think, hopefully this week that we're going to get some more news on that. This next bid, whatever it is, if they do go in another bid, has to be the bid that gets accepted. We can't be drawing this out any longer. And I suspect that in one way or another, Chelsea will have to meet that £100 million asking price, total package, including add-ons. I still feel that maybe it could be done for 90 or 95, but that is the latest on the future of Moises Caicedo. A report today from Tom Roddy in The Times saying that Chelsea are looking at Caicedo alternatives, and Leeds United's Tyler Adams, who I believe had a relegation release clause of £20 million in his contract, and Ajax's Edson Alvarez have been earmarked as potential alternatives if the Caicedo deal doesn't come through. Both players okay in their own right, but nowhere near as good as Caicedo. So the club obviously got alternative options just in case, but we have to press on and get Moises Caicedo signed. And sticking with Brighton as well, it looks like Chelsea are going to resolve their goalkeeping situation by signing Brighton's Robert Sanchez, a deal for the 25-year-old who's out of contract in 2025, is edging ever closer. Chelsea submitted a bid on Monday for Sanchez. He's out of favour at Brighton. The club don't want him. He's in training with the under-18s. He's not been on their pre-season tour of the States. So, yeah, I mean, people saying he was dropped for footballing reasons. He wasn't dropped for footballing reasons. He's a much better goalkeeper than Jason Steele. He was an undisputed number 1 under Graham Potter there, proving he can be one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League, on his day. And there's a lot of talent there. Ben Roberts, the goalkeeping coach, knows him very well. He came from Brighton with Graham Potter at the time. He's been a big advocate for this. I think Tony Jimenez, obviously, Spanish goalkeeper. Tony Jimenez, Spanish goalkeeping coach. Kepa, Spanish as well. Bit of a Spanish goalkeeping contingent going on. And reports are suggesting that Robert Sanchez could cost around £20 million. I think Chelsea are looking for a smart and cheap solution in the goalkeeping market. I think Sanchez ticks both those boxes. And he has got the ability, to challenge Kepa and dispossess Kepa as the number 1. I think the plan for the club is to sell Kepa next summer, and then maybe bring in another undisputed number 1, whoever that may be. But Chelsea look like they're going to be signing Brighton's Robert Sanchez in the coming days, people. And then we also had the news that, Lukaku and Dusan Vlahovic, Juventus and Chelsea back in talks for that swap deal after having weeks and weeks of no real update on Romelu Lukaku's future. Suddenly, Chelsea back in talks with Juventus for a Dusan Vlahovic swap deal. But the big thing here is that Juventus want £35 million as well as Romelu Lukaku for Dusan Vlahovic. Now, I feel that's quite a steep asking price as well as Lukaku for Juventus to ask for Dusan Vlahovic. Interestingly, last month in July, Chelsea said no to Dusan Vlahovic. They were offered Vlahovic, they turned it down. They're still discussing, according to Fabrizio Romano, they're still discussing internally about the possibility of signing Vlahovic. There is no final decision from Chelsea on that front, but according to reports coming out of Italy, the club feel that this is the only way to get rid of Romelu Lukaku. Now, where this doesn't sit well with me is that we shouldn't be signing Dusan Vlahovic just because it's the only way to get rid of Romelu Lukaku. That is not a good reason to be signing a player. You know, the only reason in which we should be signing Dusan Vlahovic is because we believe in him. We think he's good enough, and Pochettino feels that he can fit in his system and he can improve him as a player. There's no denying that Dusan Vlahovic is a top striker. Yes, last season was not a good season. He still got 10 goals in a terrible Juventus team under Max Allegri. But in the previous 2 seasons, he scored 21 and 24 goals, I think in 36 and 37 games respectively, which is a very good goal scoring record. He's 23 years of age. He's still got a lot of years to develop ahead of him. And, you know, he shouldn't be coming in as the first choice striker. Nicholas Jackson should be first choice because of what he's done in pre-season. But, you know, competition, you know, for places at the top end of the pitch is really important, particularly at a big club like Chelsea. Jackson's going to the African Cup of Nations in January. And Vlahovic, you know, is also a very good striker. So I don't see an issue with having competition for places. It keeps players on their toes. They know they don't perform, that someone else will come in and take their place. So I see it only as a good thing. It can push Jackson on to improve his game as well. So I'm not totally against this deal for Vlahovic, but it's got to be for the right reasons. And I still feel that the £35 million asking price is quite steep. But we'll have to wait and kind of see how that one develops. But yeah, guys, that is kind of your Chelsea transfer news, the latest roundup on everything that's going on with the season. Less than 2 weeks away now. Deals are starting to come closer. No real update on Mohamed Kudus and Michael Olise yet, but the goalkeeper situation seems to be moving further forward. Caicedo, we're still waiting for Chelsea's next move. So let's hope we can get some more deals wrapped up before the season kicks off. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you smash a like. Make sure you subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed what I had to say, feel free to check out my personal channel, Blue Brother CFC, and subscribe to me over there. It would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, guys, take care. Thank you for tuning in. Up the Chelsea, and peace out, people.